We're good.
It's swirling. It's swirling. Hello and welcome to the Notion Nerds live stream. Today, we're talking about formulas and more specifically, if formulas. And
If you know what I mean.
if you know, no. If I had the power, I would have taken you off screen for that. Take yourself off screen. Take yourself off screen. That was shameful. Thank you. Now he's gone.
Now you're running the show.
Somehow, not sure how I'm running the show. And also, they can't hear you, can they? Which is great. So we're all talking about.
I haven't taken myself completely off stream, so they still should be able to hear me.
Fair enough. So today we're talking about the if function inside of Notion and the formulas and the nerdy stuff. And for people who have followed us both on Twitter, you would have enjoyed the most nerdiest tweet I think I've ever posted.
I will bring it up.
I think we can start with that one, don't you, Danny?
Oh yeah, definitely. Let's scroll down a little bit.
Let's zoom in a little bit because that's quite small. There you are. Awesome. And so this is the most easiest formula you can possibly do in terms of using the if statement. And it's very simply a simple text string replacement. So the question that I'm asking is the property yes and no checked or unchecked. If it's checked, then we go, if it's true or checked, it's saying join us here and then the URL to this link, which as you're all here, it's worked. Otherwise, it just says have a great day. And that's kind of the fundamentals of using, and that's how it works. It's pretty, it's beautiful, it is nerdy, it is geeky, and we love it. And that is the kind of very basic function of using if statements. Wouldn't you agree, Dan?
Yeah.
Are you done now?
Yeah, I'll stop pushing it now.
All right. Now, of course, this is really simple, and there's a lot more you can do with if statements. There's also different ways you can write if. There's a Nerdy Notioneer has actually put the other way of using if inside of the chat. Can we bring that up? Can we bring that up? Thank you. And so you have the if, open bracket, etc., etc. It's the question, and then we're gonna whether it's true. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, you could remove the true. Am I correct there, Danny? You don't need the true in the if statement, in even this statement, correct?
Shouldn't need it, no.
No. And so you could actually remove that true and shorten it even more. Simplicity. I am a simplicity specialist. That's what I do. And so you could have it be, he's rewriting it for us right now live. And so if it goes wrong, we can all laugh at him. Here we go.
Oh, I've done it.
There you go. And so that's literally the same thing. And it's just written in a different way. And so, Danny, you can start talking now because I started the stream and I've been talking loads today. And it's been nice. You've shut up for a change. It's great.
I've been pushing all the buttons.
You just want to press the buttons. That's what you want to do. Just press the buttons.
Yeah, just push the buttons. Yeah. So, excuse me. So we've got a little bit of an explanation going on down here with the question: response if true, response if false. The main difference that the if has with some of the other functions is the question, and the ability to have the question. That is where the world kind of opens inside of Notion with formulas. So I'm going to go through some of the functions. If you don't know what the functions are, that's fine. We're going to explain some of them later on. But the question, basically, if you had this little tick box next to the property or next to the constraint or whatever it is, you could put that as a question for the formula. So you could have this as a question. You can see this is if. This is an example of if. Would you agree with that, John? The true function being an example.
Yeah, it literally is an example of, wow, the true example is an if statement. Yes, correct. Yeah.
And it's the same with false. And then as we scroll down, we've got not. And do you use not very often?
Sometimes. I'm just trying to think of a good example of when I used not. Not often.
For me, I use not in front of empty. So if I want to use the empty function, I'll put not in front of it.
Yes. Yeah, that's probably about the only time I ever use it is during the not empty function so that I can have it the right way around that I like. Otherwise, it really bugs me having to have it the opposite way around.
Exactly.
Yeah, good. I'm glad we're
Yeah. And it's kind of the same with the if. So if you have a look here, you've got different examples. You can have and in the middle of two questions. So you can have a first question and the second question, which we'll give an example later on. And then that gives you an answer. Or you could do the same as you do with the if function. You can have and then the things inside the brackets. And both of them do the same thing, which is why when you look at formulas, you could get very confused because you could do either or. you could do both.
And now we have or, which is another function.
Yeah, and or is like the same thing. So you could have an or, and an or inside an if. All as that question.
Yeah, and or you could not have or and add another and or with an or in front of an and if you have an and or an or.
Not if it's equal.
That's true. That's true. But it also might be larger.
Oh dear. And for those of you that were looking in the formula boxes and were really astute in the most recent update, John, you may not know this, but they corrected a lot of the mistakes that they had in the syntax and the examples. So they had mistakes in here that weren't actually true, but the formula worked fine. It was just some of the things in here weren't right. And for some really odd reason, I can't remember which one it was now. I think it was smaller equal. They had no, it was format. My bad. Inside this is completely away from ifs for a second. Where's the format? There it is. I'm pretty sure
so
they changed.
Now we have a formula of if Danny decides to derail the conversation, Jonathan brings it up very, very clearly.
So with the format, they actually had the an example of if inside here rather than format. So you're like,
do you know what? I didn't notice that.
What if you just use a formula? It doesn't really matter. So we've got all of these coming down here. To be honest, the majority of these you won't use because this equal function, I just use the two equals as an abbreviation instead of putting. Do you ever use this?
No. What is the point? I've not found a point to use equal. Not yet.
I mean, I've used the double equals.
Yeah, I've used that, but I've never used the full, like... Yeah, no. I always use the shortened syntax, because... Why do more work than you need to?
Exactly. I think that's the same as to why we use the question mark and the colons rather than the if bracket, blah, blah,
And also, for me, I find it easier to understand. And I'm less likely to get confused. When I start nesting ifs, I find it much quicker to find the question because I just look for the question mark than I did when I was trying to use if open bracket. Where's the first bit? Okay, that's after the open, but before the. I just need to look for the question mark, and I can now, whenever I have nested ifs, I just look for the question mark. Okay, that's the first question. Okay, there's the next question mark. Okay, that's another question. That's another question. That's this. That is this. It's much faster to glance through a formula, which when you have a stupid long formula, it's so much faster to be able to look for the question marks. I don't know why I do that, but I did,
Unequal. Do you use the exclamation mark equals for not equal?
I've played with it, but not really, because I normally use the not at the beginning for the question. I don't know. I don't think so. Honestly, I don't sit there going, how many times do I use this formula? How many times do I use this bit in my formula? I use it when I need to use it. I'm sure I've used it, but only when I need it.
But something that comes to mind when I'm using formulas, well, when I'm planning out a formula, I think I know the Emotioneer mentioned this. Yeah, so I'll bring it up very, very quickly, and I'm going to get rid of that ticker banner because it's driving me mad. And I'm not even looking at the screen. That's where you need to type out what you want to figure out for formulas. Before I even start making a formula, the question is the first thing I think about. I forget about the answer. I think about the question, and then I think, how is what's the quickest way I can write this question, which brings me back to the equals an exclamation mark or the double equals, because I want to try and use the smallest amount of space as possible.
Yeah, I don't
inside
normally
the
use not or unequal either, I don't think. But if I would use that. I would use the unequal.
Larger than. I'd much rather have this one this one symbol than right whole larger.
Just as long as I remember what that bloody symbol is.
The bit to the left is bigger than the bit to the right.
Yeah, I know that in my head, but whenever I do it, I'm just like, is that actually larger? Is that actually? No, maybe. I don't know. Okay, yeah, it is.
Do you really struggle with that? I mean, when you're using larger than with text, I can understand that. But then larger than with text is basically just counting the amount of letters. That's all it does. That's all it does. Larger than or equal to, the same thing, same abbreviation, smaller than, and then smaller than equal to. So even though these are here, I feel like anyone that's going to use these functions are actually just going to use the symbols. Would you agree?
Yeah, the symbol. I'm intrigued. Anyone in the comments, do you use? Because I know Nerdy Notion E uses the full if statement. Do you use the larger, smaller, etc., etc.? Oh, and concat I never use. It is just plus. I am too lazy to put concat because then I end up putting comcat, and then I'm like, why is that not working? Oh, that's why, because you put comcat instead of concat. I don't know why.
Well, again,
I never use concat. I use
just
plus.
use the plus. Just use the plus.
It's just so CONCAT. 6 letters or 1 letter. Okay, 1. And I don't even have to remember what it's called. I just know that it's this add this equals hey.
So I do use the symbols. Okay, yeah. So John, the difference between join and concat.
Are you testing me? Are you?
No, like for me, I don't quite understand why we need 2, because they do the same thing.
I think, yeah. I think when you're trying to stick, that's when you use join. So for in this example, what you've already got one formula, another formula, another formula. You need to stick something in the middle of them. That's when you'd probably use join. That might actually be a way of short. I've never used join before, but that might actually be a shorter way of using it. So I'm thinking for my one of my formulas that I do, I always have like what they call pipes. I don't know what they're actually called, but the double lines.
Are you talking? Let's come down here. Are you talking this one?
Yes. I often use the double lines when I'm just trying to show small bits of data. That would be probably. I've never actually done it. I just use concat because, well, no, I use plus.
You use concat or you use plus?
I use plus. Yeah. That would probably be the only time I would ever use join, and I've never done it yet. Because it's another thing I've got to try and figure out how to nest. And I don't like complicated nesting with brackets because Notion screws with brackets anyway. Although you never experience that, it's just me.
It's because I know what I'm doing, John.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing too. It's just Notion adds them in whenever they fancy it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I started using the long if because I came from Excel and it just made sense. But as soon as I realized I could put the question mark instead, I was like, I'm doing that instead.
I must admit, I didn't know about the question mark until I started seeing your stuff. And I was just like, oh, this is so much easier. That makes if so much more easier to understand. And I find it really hard to explain if to people before. When I was teaching people how to use formulas, who the hell wants to learn formulas? When teaching formulas previously, I always found the if statement and explaining that to people really hard. But now I just go, well, what's the question? Because you always think of the question first, which is why I feel that that's more powerful. And this is going to be a little bit controversial. It's not really, no one gives a shit. But I think that the other way of using it just isn't, it's kind of just redundant.
It's not redundant. It's just preferred by other people. And
yeah, I find
I understand what you're saying,
He's gonna
but
correct you.
yeah, the formula doesn't work. Because you've got a question, and then you've got another question.
Yeah.
There's no answers.
Unless we're missing something. And is there a wait?
No, because you've got if, then the property equals true. So if that equals true, then ask a question, but you don't have an answer to that question, yes or no, and then you don't have a no answer to the first question either. So you're missing 3 answers.
Yes.
But I understand.
Why don't you course correct that formula for us?
I'd get rid of the if bracket at the beginning to start with.
Why don't you course correct it with the if, seeing as everybody is a theory of personal preference, or whatever you said that I wasn't really paying much attention to.
You pay attention to me? Whew. Right.
Why are you putting it there? Put a bloody new one.
What are you talking about?
What are you doing?
I'm proving a point. So with this,
Okay.
this will always. So this is basically asking a question. By putting prop, you're basically asking a question because it's a boolean. If I go there, how do I want to do this?
True. Put
Well,
true.
yeah, I know true and false, but
Well, that's the easiest way to explain it. But put it in text string because it's easier to understand.
look at John. You tell me to explain it, and then you tell me what to do.
Well, then explain it bloody properly then.
We've already explained this bit. No, where I was
Why are
going.
you doing it again then?
Because you asked me to explain this, so I was going to go through this because inside here we've got prop equals true. But if this is already a tick box, you don't have to put if it equals true. See where I was going now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So let's get rid of that because you've got. I'm just going to put dead as the first answer, and I'm just going to put not as the second answer. So inside the first bit of this, inside the first bit of the if property you've got there, you've got if that equals true. So you could have that in there, and that works.
But it's redundant.
Yeah, you just don't need it there because it's already asking that question. So it's just another way of shortening it because this is already a boolean. There's a yes or no answer to it. So I think
poor Homesick's probably sat there going, I was trying to make a joke, lads. Shut up.
So it was funny.
Stop beating that. Stop beating a dead horse. No. Okay.
I would relegate you, but I can't. You're already down the bottom. wait. I'm going to promote you.
Just so you can put me back down there again.
Just so I can put you back down again.
You're so sad.
Yes. Oh dear. Right. Stay here. Prop homesick. Yes, that is a potential answer, depending on what prop homesick is. I mean, good. Yeah, whatever prop homesick is. Right. So well, let's come back into here. Let me go further down because there was something else further down here. Test. So using this test, you called it pipe, didn't you? The line going down, whatever it is. Do you use that inside this test formula?
No.
Have you done that? Do you like?
No, I've actually never used test.
Most of the time I've used test is when I'm using something like replace all with it. So I've got text and I can test whether this or this or this is there. Let's just have a quick example of this. So
yeah, please. I don't use test. That's interesting.
I'm just going to get rid of this and put 1 because it's just so much easier. It's just so much easier. And then we're going to come to here, go test, and so I'm going to test the title property, Never use test either. Ooh. Yeah, so I'm going to use a title property. Let's come in here just so you know what I'm doing. You can test a number, a text, or a boolean, and then you get text. So does this include this? It's kind of like the contains function if you've got text or anything like that. So I'm looking for title, and then what I want to do is I want to look to see if it's 1, 2. Actually, let's just leave it like that. Oop. So now it's looking to see if the title has 1 or 2. So if I let's not add a 2 in there. It's still going to have 2, but if I get rid of the 2, it's now gone. And you can have questions in here. So this is essentially a question. Does this contain this or this? And this could be a question. This could be an if inside of the test. It could be whatever you want. As you can imagine, with formulas, you can expand it as much as you want. So this is another way, I guess, of putting an or in between two different questions. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I've never used it. Can you give an example of how you've actually used it?
There's a template somewhere in my free examples.
Go get the template for your free examples then, or make a new one.
I don't remember what it's called. So let me think. Stall while I think of an example. Okay. That was just bad. So when I'm looking for, I'm trying to think of a string of text. Maybe when you're looking for a word or names of something or parts of a name.
Ooh, okay. What if you were looking to see whether something was, I don't know. You're looking through a notes database to find stuff that says review in the title so that you can see which one's a review and have it as a tick. It's a shit example, but it works.
Yeah, that one you could probably use contains. The thing with a lot of these Boolean checks is you can swap them out. So could use.
What's the benefit of using test then?
To be honest, I don't use test in the formulas where I could, because I like to keep the formulas consistent. But you could use test instead of contains, or instead of an if, or instead of using an or.
So you might want to go through the pipe and what that actually means for people who don't know.
Is or.
There you go. You're welcome, guys.
Or that's literally what it means. 1 or 2, and then you can put as many as you want. 3, 4, and you can put as many as you want in there. And this is a text string. This is what it's reading. It's reading it as a text string, and that's your question.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you hadn't. I knew you weren't familiar with this, but I wasn't sure that you hadn't used the test bit.
No, I hadn't used the test bit before. No.
And then I don't think there's anything more down here. No, there's not. So when we come back to the if, should we play around with some nested ifs now?
Yeah, go on in.
So I think because we discussed this beforehand in a recipe database. I'm just reading. In a recipe database, I guess you could use test to search for an ingredient, maybe, but I have a tag database for that. Yeah. You could use test, you could use contains, you could use if, you could use lots of different formulas to do the same thing, which is why I think so many people use the if over anything else, because it's the easiest way to do all of the stuff. Because you could use the test here. Actually, let's just repeat that, but as an if.
A test, you mean?
What?
Carry on. As you were.
So if that contains, actually, yeah, there we go. That's how you could use it. That's how you could use it. Let's come into here. Let's just copy that because I'm lazy. Paste. So we've got the test, and then we've got inside the if. Just to make it different. So we've got the test as part of the question. So it shortens up that question rather than it being, does test contain 1 or 2 or 3 or 4? Because you're using the contains. So instead of it being like that, it would be, let's just duplicate this.
Oh, that's wicked. I didn't realize I will probably be using test more because that works with my brain a lot more because I hated nested contains.
Contains, oh dear, 1. There you go. So instead of doing this and then, or then again and again and again and again, you can just use test.
That is a really good, useful way of using test. Okay, I think I'll probably be using that more myself, actually.
Yeah, because
is test the only? I'm asking now for my own. Is test the only one where you can have the pipe as OR?
It's the only one that I've personally used. I will try it here as well, but it looks like it worked with this as well.
No, it's not used. Is it worked?
Yeah, it has worked. Just, I put the 2 rather than the 3. I put the 3 in, now it should.
No, it's not working. The 1 isn't going up. So test is the only. Oh, that's fascinating. So test is the only one where you can.
If it doesn't work, that's silly. Unless, oh no, contains. It's looking for this whole text string.
Yeah. So test is the only one. So that's why you'd use test. If you were testing to see whether multiple things are there. Oh, that's exciting. And now my brain's going, I could do that for so many things that I've been wanting to do.
Yeah.
Is your brain doing the same? It's like, oh, shit, there's a use.
Well, it's one of those things where I've used it and I know how to use it. It's just in my space, I haven't quite found a use case for it yet. But that's
now you have.
Yeah.
Yes, I know how you just like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's in my head, I know how they all work. So if I find an issue, I then know it will solve the issue. But I hadn't found an issue that test would solve that something else hadn't. So maybe we need to go through some of our formulas and just see if we can put test in there instead.
Yeah, this shortens a lot of my formulas. I'm just thinking. That makes my formulas much shorter.
Look at that. That's an if with 4 ors.
Yeah. And it's under a line. That's insane. That's exciting. Can you do? Now I'd like you to test something. That was not fair. That was not purposeful. Could you?
Very quickly. The reason this doesn't work here, a notion here, is because contains is a text string question. So it's always looking for text, which is why I put it in the quote marks, because it's now looking for number pipe, etc.
So
yeah. Karen?
Can you, on the test, can you use other questions with the pipe? So instead of the 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, could you use other questions instead?
I don't know.
They wouldn't be strings, would they?
Doesn't look like it. Because that is a question right there. That is a question.
That is a question in a question in a question.
Yeah, so let's get rid of the if for a sec. And because it's looking for this as a text string. So because now what we're trying to do is we're trying to nest a question inside of a question.
Questionception.
I'm pretty sure you can. Yeah, test Boolean.
And then the or thing as well. Using or as well. That's the thing I'm more like the using the.
Yeah.
That's what I'm more interested in.
I'm just making sure I get all the syntax and stuff right. So, because I'm testing, because I'm trying to test this, but I don't. This isn't a question. This is a text string. So I need this to be a. Because you need something to test all of these things on. Does that make sense?
Yes. No, I know what you're saying. And now I can't think of a really good reason without creating multiple properties and making it really complex.
Yeah. So if you want to see if that's true, or Oh, fine, you stupid thing. Put my space in. Or that's true. Then you can do it that way. I don't actually. I have not tried this. No, that doesn't work.
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought, because I've seen you use the pipes before, but they've never worked like that for me.
Because I know you can do that, obviously.
So now I had a test before, and then use. Yeah, this is interesting now. Now we're just nerding out. I apologize for everyone who's finding this really bloody boring, but
I don't think this would work because it needs to test something. Because when you look at the syntax, it's testing something for something else. So essentially, this is the whole of the syntax together. Because if I just have that prop, what that is doing is going test prop yes or no close.
And you're doing that multiple times. That what I'm trying to do is can you test multiple properties inside of one test, if you know what I mean?
Oh dear.
True Z.
That's essentially what you're doing.
Yes.
But you're doing all of this by just having that.
Yes, but I want to be testing multiple properties at the same time. Testing to see if multiple properties equal a true or a false or something.
But that's just putting or in front of them. I don't understand. You're just trying to get rid of the two letters into a pipe.
Yes.
I don't see the point. Just do that.
But that's really long, Danny.
That is literally the difference you're trying to make. But you would be putting test on the front of it, so you'd add 4 letters and 2 brackets to get rid of 2 R's.
I know. This is fun.
Our viewers, we were probably sitting at 10, and then we were at 3.
It's fine. Anyway, carry on, Danny.
Right, yeah. So John, no, you can't use pipes instead of the or. The or is much, much, much easier. Okay. I think we were going to talk nested, but I can't remember now.
Yeah, we were.
It's been so long. Oh yeah, nested. Right. So you know what? I might as well. See, this is what I mean. You know, I was talking about the bug in the back. Yeah, I found a bug, everyone. Yeah, this shouldn't be possible. But if I come in here, it's fine. If I go space, now it tells me I can't because now it's updated itself and gone, oh, actually, no, you can't actually do that. Yeah. Anyway,
Ravi.
Sorry.
Ravi. Copy of Ravi.
Yeah. So we're going to look for this, and then let's use. Oh wow! Put my finger in the middle of the things. So we've got yes, and then we've got that one. I don't know about you, John. This is
so, ladies and gentlemen, another thing here is why you want to label all of your properties properly, your title of your columns properly. Because right now, Danny's there going, "What the hell does this one mean? What is this one? What have we done with this one? I don't even know what this one is anymore."
No, I don't really name my properties when I'm going through a big formula. I will name the property the section of the formula that it is.
Yes.
Because in my head, I replace it all. Actually, we could probably do that. This is in a second when we go through the nested. I replace it all in there. Right. So when I'm writing out longer formulas, I will write out this. This is like my default. Are you the same? So I will write this out. So I have the question, I have the first answer and the second answer.
Oh, yeah.
And then I will replace the yes and no with the appropriate things that I need.
Yes.
No.
Funny.
Excuse me. Yeah, so I'm just going to put in another random question. Let's just see if it contains one. What I have now is Lord, yes, especially when you have relations more than once. Label, yes, exactly. So I've now got this question, and I'm going to copy the question and paste
It
the
might be
question.
good to label that just so people can see on the so that they can see what we're doing. Labeling it, although it's easy for us, label it. Do you want me to go and label it because you're lazy bugger?
You happy?
Yeah. Well, label it properly, you ass. You know exactly that you're an ass.
Oh. Contain question, master formula. Yeah. So what we have
That's literally what you just saw me do is exactly what I do. I have the master formula, which is the nested formula all put together, and then each section of my formula that I separate out, I have section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4. This is what we're about to teach, but he's going to take forever talking about it, so I just thought I'd give you the summary if you're bored.
No,
Carry on.
No, that's literally what I was about to say. So what's next?
Show an example.
Like this.
Go.
That's what I've done. So we've got,
do multiple nests.
Multiple nests. We need to come up with another question then. So if it equals,
I ain't got a clue.
Right. So
why don't we like ditch this formula and add a few more properties in and make it a little bit more spicy?
Sounds good. Do you want to do that?
No, you can. What do you want me to add?
I don't mind.
Helpful. Okay. I've had an idea.
You've had an idea. Well, go on, take over.
Well, no, you keep going and talking while I just add. Like a common thing is managing. No. Like managing statuses on a project. You know?
Yeah.
So this is something we can look at, and instead of seeing these really long-winded things, thank you. You don't do that. It's really off-putting. Instead of seeing these really long-winded things, we can shorten the status in progress, completed, etc., etc. We can shorten that, and make it a little bit easier to understand.
Agreed. I'm assuming you normally put this as test 2 then.
No, I would normally label each section properly. Like what I'm actually working out in this. So, I mean, this is this would be figuring out the status. If the status equals this, show this. Like status replacement or whatever stupid nonsense I would say.
If status equals completed, question mark.
Show this. If it doesn't, then show this. And if not, then show this,
Check. If not, let's put across. That look good?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, exactly.
There we go. And then we've got this one. What is this testing? This is testing for the title. Should we let's test this one for the yes or the no? Whatever the yes or the no actually means.
I'm setting up for some later stuff. You keep going.
Okay, so the yes or no, should we say that's done or to do maybe? So I'm going to say we've got status completed and then a done tick box. We've got duplicated properties. Literally the worst thing we could do. Oh, I know. Sponsored. There we go. Because we are Notion nerds and we are going to get sponsored. This could be a live, a sponsored live stream completed. There we go. Nice.
Stop moving things around.
I haven't done anything. Okay.
Where's the now gone? I added this in. I added a now thing to show the now.
Got a due date in there.
Yeah, I know. I also added a now, but it seems to have vanished. Don't know
Oh,
why.
did you hide it?
No. That's just not appeared. Oh well, it's fine.
Oh no, it just didn't appear. You obviously just didn't write it properly. You've just made it bigger when I was about to make it bigger. Why is the title property so large, John?
I don't know, because it had an actual text in it originally.
Oh my word. Trying to work on the same page as someone else. Every time you try and move something, they moved it.
I know.
Grrr. Toss. Okay. Right. So we've got. Why have we got a review property in?
I don't know.
What is this doing? Okay, I'm going to delete this form.
Yeah, delete that one now. Now that I think we've proven the point. And here's a lesson for all of you: don't ever try to work on the same database at the same time on a live stream, because it doesn't work.
Going on though. Right. So we've got sponsored. We've got tick. So that's that answer. That's that answer. So we can now combine two different answers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can have boom in here. So I'm assuming this is how you would do it. You'd copy this, put that in there, and then put that one in there, and that add together.
Copy that. Yes. Yeah.
So I've got
I'm
that
gonna
one.
stop touching it now, because every time I touch it, it freaking cries.
And then, how would you do this? Actually, you build this, because I'm curious to see how you would do this.
Well, it would be what's the tick for? Is that whether it's sponsored or not?
No, so you got sponsored or not sponsored, and then you've got completed, and then.
Well, actually, what I would do is I would have 3 sections to that. If it was completed, I'd have it as ticked. If it was in progress, I would have a clock. Well, I'll just do that. Then again, you'll have to hang on. I'll need to share my screen if I'm going to do it.
Yeah, share your screen so they can see what you're typing.
Yeah.
Hi, Roxana. Good to see you. John's just been making my life hell by moving the day-to-day.
Thanks. So what I would do in this case, have you put me on screen now? Yeah, because I can't see.
Yeah, you're on screen.
Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm doing a nested thing. I need to delete that because it's not going to like me. Yeah. Right. So I'm going to add it 3 times, because obviously it's test, because then it's broken. But no, I wouldn't actually need that. What am I talking about? Hang on.
I love it. The live formulas. As soon as you know you're live, you're like, oh shit! I can't do that.
So if I was in progress, I would have this as a. I can't press a button. I would have this as a clock. I think I have the shortcut. No, I don't. Okay, cool, good. It's great. All my shortcuts have gone out of my head. Okay, I have one of those. Otherwise, it would show an X, which I know works. Like so. So as you can see, we've got, and because I don't know about anyone else, but does anyone else actually ever use the not started thing? I just leave it blank because I can't be bothered. Basically.
But it's the same with the board view.
Yeah, I know, but still, I normally have this hidden. But this means, so I'm now going to take, so this is the, status formula. I'm now going to take this, and this is the master formula, yeah? And I'm now going to add this at the beginning. What are you laughing at?
As soon as you put it in there, I was like, it's just gonna cover everything green. I think you may have a ghost block in there as well, because of the way you did that. But I may be wrong.
I know.
Yeah, you did.
Why are you being stupid, Notion? I don't know. There we go. It's not worked. All right, Danny, fix it.
So,
because I'm just too tired for this crap right now.
Okay, so let's read through what we've got. We've got, is it completed? Check. If it's not completed, then see if it's in progress. So
tell me what I've got wrong there, because my brain's like, no, that's fine, but it's not showing the full thing. Am I missing a bracket somewhere?
Yeah, because you've combined the second. So the second question. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because you had the second question as the false argument of the first question. Well, no, you had the third question as the false argument of the first question.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
So I'm going to share my screen so I can sort of like explain what I meant with that.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm taking a mickey.
Yeah, I know. It's just for those that are either watching now or watching on the replay, they may be like, "What is that? What?" So John added the brackets in, but basically, this question, you have the first answer, which is here, and then the second answer is after the colon, which was
the second question.
Yeah. But it had this, and because that bracket wasn't there, it was also taking everything else. So everything else was involved in that question, which John didn't want. So by adding the bracket in, we now go, okay, that's the second part of that first question. And then that's a space, just put the space in between the two answers. And then there's that there. So we now have, what's that? Is that 3 nested ifs?
Beautiful.
Yeah. Beautiful. Actually, everyone that was on the stream yesterday, I'm going to ask John the same question that someone asked me at the end of the stream and see if he can remember, because I've told him how to do it. John, when it comes to the now function, because we've got a date in there and I can see you've put now in there, how do you get rid of the timestamp from a now date?
Oh, you delete the hour. You remove the hours.
Show us, John.
No. No, I've never tried doing it. I never want to do it. So no.
You're no fun. Okay. I guess I'll bring myself back. Right.
Oh, I thought it was still on yours. Cam.
Mm-hmm. No, I put it onto you because I thought you were going to show us.
No.
Oh yes,
I will not.
Sunnyland, he even wants to, or he or she, I'm not sure. My bad. Wants to know how you would do that, John. So I will make the formula property for you,
Danny,
and even start by putting the now in there.
Oh, you're so generous. Get on and show the audience how to do it. Thank you.
No, I did it yesterday. It's your turn. I'm a she. Okay. Sorry for.
Well done.
That wrong first time. That's my bad.
So, yeah, get on with it. Go on, get on with it.
No, because I did it yesterday. I made myself look silly yesterday, so it's your turn.
Oh, so you want me to look silly?
No, I
do a really good job of that of myself. So I'll let you do this, so you can show.
Roxana even has just gone to get the popcorn. So John.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to embarrass myself. I don't need to do that. I do a pretty good job of that myself.
You'll be embarrassing yourself. Stop putting it off, John. No. You're an adult. Grow up and do your formulas, John.
I don't ever do that formula.
Do your formulas.
No. I am an adult, which means I can decide when and where I want to do things. And I say no.
You stopped sharing your screen. Okay.
Yes, fine. I did. To prove a point.
Prove a point.
Danny, you share this. This is. I do not want to steal your thunder.
Lizzie's on your Roxanne.
Thank you, Lizzie. I appreciate you saying go, Jonathan, go. But I don't want to steal Danny's thunder. Danny, off you go.
What do you mean steal my thunder?
I don't know. Get on with it. You can demonstrate it. I have no want to demonstrate it.
You just made a big scene out of making a small formula.
Yeah, I know. Keep talking, John. I'm making a formula. This is serious stuff. So, what he's doing here is subtracting.
You don't even know what I'm doing.
I'm laughing at you.
There
you go.
Have I put one?
Self-explanatory. Have you forgotten the? There you go.
Must have missed it on the keyboard. Right. So I like to hear the solution from John. There you go.
I haven't done it. I have never done it before.
Well, I've
I
got you
know
half the way there.
theory
I've
how
taken
it
off the
works.
hours.
Huh?
I've taken off the hours. All you got to do is take off the minutes.
I'm good. Carry on. I mean, this is Danny's show, supposedly.
It's not. It's ours. Shut up.
I am just the, co-host.
This drives me mad. 2 brackets at the bottom of a. What's going on?
Well done.
Yeah.
I genuinely haven't done that.
Have you not?
No.
More nerdy formulas. Yeah, nerdy. So actually, John, if you hold the fort for a sec, I might go into my space and pick out my weekly formula. We might do that.
Oh, you want to do that? Oh, okay, that's exciting.
Well, I won't remake it because that's a hell of a troubleshoot.
Yeah, we don't want to remake it. We'll be here for the next 2 hours remaking it. Yeah, no, I'm happy to hold the fort. So, what do other people use for formulas? That's the intriguing thing. What is everyone else's favorite use for formulas? Because for me, I primarily use it kind of just to show a shortened view of information rather than much else. Because I know that Danny uses it for kind of everything now, including like organizing.
Well, with the date, yeah.
Yeah, with the date property and things like that. There's some automations you can do with formulas.
I forgot I'd zoomed in and my dashboard looks so different. I was like, why have I got 3 rows of dashboards? Oh yeah, I'm zoomed in.
Right, let me share my screen and I'll break down that formula because I don't think we broke it down. Okay, so let me hide this atrocious thing here whenever we don't talk about, and I'll zoom in so people can see. And so I'm going to take this and we'll paste it out into a little block here.
It may take a bit of time, John, because my obviously my formula on the front page for my tasks is kind of big.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was doing this. I just turned off the timestamp from the. I can't do these. I can't show. I can't show things on stream. Remember. So some lovely little comments here. So we have Roxanne has said summary everything together. Yeah, same here. Esme has said progress bars. Lizzie shorten view, getting the right due date. Yes, yeah.
Oh, you're talking about this.
Yeah, like that. I can't do that.
Okay.
Yeah, progress bars. Shortened view, getting the right due date. D-O, not D-U. Turn off the timestamp from the original source if I no longer need this timestamp. Yeah, I don't really use timestamps in any form that I can think of. I normally just set it as hours and minutes and reformat the now as hours and minutes. Because I don't have your property the way you do your formula, which we're going to be seeing in a minute. Anyway, breaking this down. So
do you want that one? I was going to go with the progress, the 2 days, 3 days, 4 days one.
Oh, cool. That one works. That one's actually easier to do.
Yeah, I was going to say I wasn't going to go with the whole dashboard thing because, nah.
I would like to see you putting pressure on me. I'd like to see you do that one.
I mean, some of the basics in there are fine, but I got recurring tasks at the bottom of that. I then have fail safes in the middle of that, and then I have like 3 different questions at the top of it as well. Yeah, just no.
So I'm just dissecting this one a little bit live, which is always great. Always great dissecting things live, Danny. I love dissecting.
You wanted nested, and I gave you nested.
Yeah, and what a nerdy notioneer said, I just use another date field. It's exactly what I do. My use of nows aren't as extensive as yours, I don't think, Danny.
What do you mean?
I don't think I use now enough to warrant doing this and dissecting things out like this. Anyway.
It's not now that I reference because referencing a date that is dynamic, you have to have now. So whenever you're referencing any sort of date and you want it to be dynamic and not just static, it has to have a now, or you have to reference a date property that fluctuates. Did you just change your screen?
No.
It just got really black and long, and then it was.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what happened there. No idea. I love it. It's great. How would you dissect this, Danny?
I'm looking at my formula and working out what part I want, what part I don't.
Just paste the whole thing. Just give them a whole yummy thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing. I push control 3, so I'm on my way.
You're on your way. Slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. You'll be here.
I'm the turtle running the race.
You what?
You know the turtle running the race with the hair thing.
You're a turtle running the race with a hair thing. Just perfect sense, maybe.
I can explain formulas better than I can a story.
I can explain a story better than I can explain formulas.
Oh dear.
Are we done yet? You're taking so long.
Well, you haven't explained this formula yet. Go on,
no,
go
I
on.
haven't.
What have you done to the formula? It looks like you've destroyed it.
I have destroyed it for you to wind you up.
Okay,
I was trying to work out the best way of dissecting it so you could see each individual section like I've done up there, but I realized like about halfway through that you really can't with this one.
Okay, fine. If you stop playing with it.
You see how annoying this is? It's great. I love it. Oh, why are you doing that?
Because this is how you explain it.
I'm the turtle, not the hare rabbit. Lol. Simple Danny.
Exactly that. Right. Minute. There we go. That's that. There we go. Bring that down. There. That's basically what it is. That makes more sense now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So inside the date subtract, you have another date subtract, which is looking. So I think for those of you that were there yesterday, I think I explained this, but basically I'm looking at the hours of now, which is here, and I'm taking the hours of now off from now to get rid of them, which is all of that. And then I'm then taking the minutes of now and then taking that away from the beginning of now. So I'm taking it from whatever the time is, back hours to 12, and then minutes back to 0. And you can swap these around, so you can put the minutes first and then the hours first. It really doesn't matter. Right, if I copied the formula right, I'm now going to get a lump of stuff. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Lovely.
Oh, that looks absolutely horrendous on the screen.
It looks lovely.
It's really blurry. Danny, I am not going to break this down. This is all on you. I don't care how it works. I am just like, I know it works. It looks good. It's cool. I don't care. I don't need to know. Just let me use it. So, Danny, this is going to be all you. Once again, I'm not the formula king or anything. I'm just a guy who likes using Notion.
I don't know formulas. I'm rubbish with formulas.
I'm rubbish with formulas. Lanchi and both me have just replied with if this is rubbish with formulas.
This is the smallest of the two as well.
I know. That's what's quite scary.
That's why I didn't want to bring the other one. Well, basically, all of this is a progress bar, so we can get rid of that. That's just a progress bar. We went through the progress bar yesterday on stream, on my channel. So that's just. Actually, you know what? Let's bring it back, and then.
Yeah, come on! Don't let people miss out. Come on now.
I just do that so they can look at this and make it look all pretty and stuff. Oh, that's traffic with time left. Yes, yes.
Yes.
So this is the traffic light that I made yesterday, but it's an altered version to make it shorter, because the one that I made yesterday, Svannyland, I think, was there. It's art. It is art. The one that I made yesterday, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for all of the different colors. In here, what I've done is I've used what we were talking about earlier with the ore. So you can see ore is there, ore is there. So that bit. So what I'm looking for is if the progress is 1 or 2 or 3, put red. If it equals 4 or 5, put orange. 6 or 7, yellow. 8 or 9, green. And then the reason I've got error down here is because up here we've got, if there's one task left, it's going to show green. And if it's completed, then it's going to show a tick box. So if the only reason it's going to show an error is if there's
an error.
Yeah, basically, but it's just not going to. It's either going to show add tasks, because I need to add tasks to my task database, because this is taken from my projects database, or it's going to show a green dot, a green tick, or the appropriate dot. And that's just a very, depending on whether you like formulas or not, it's a very simple formula. Then we have a space in the middle, because I have a space in the middle. So that's the progress bar. John?
No.
Just no.
No, I'm not. No, I can't do it. I know I can't. I am not a formula guy. Not compared to you. Not this one. Jeez, no.
Okay, so in the first question, we've got something that some of you may not be aware of, that when you're dealing with dates, so date properties,
yes.
Yeah, you can't have an empty date. So this is an empty date. So what I've done is I've used two numbers. So I'm turning a blank space, nothing, into a number string. And then I'm turning that number, which is actually nothing, into a date. So I'm turning a text into a number into a date, because that's what you got to do. So I'm asking if date equals...
Perfect sense.
No. Sorry?
Perfect sense, notion. Cheers.
Oh, yeah. So I'm asking basically is if the date is nothing. And the reason I said is it nothing and not empty, because of some of the other answers that the formula that it's taking it from uses. So this is the long formula that I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Screenshot to dissect later. Go for it.
We'll share this, won't we?
Can do. I mean, it's one of the formulas in my template, which is linked everywhere. But then I can share it, I guess, if people want it.
They'd have to customize the crap out of this, though.
Yeah, because this is very, very specific. Yeah. So basically, if there is no date, then put this, because I need a date. If there is a date, then it's going to look to see if this equals this. And the reason I've formatted the date into day, week, day, month, year is because this date doesn't have time on it. It doesn't have a timestamp on it. And if I was to put a timestamp on it, because I'm comparing it to now, I would have to change this date property every minute so that it matches to now. I don't want to have to do that rubbish. So what I've done is I've formatted now to day, month, year, so that I can match it with a date property that's static. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
So I've changed two date properties into text properties, two date strings into text strings, so I can compare the two.
Yes.
So this is a question. Inside of the answer, the second answer to this question. So this is our first nested question. If that is true, then put today. So essentially what this question is asking is the date of this project due today? If it is, put today. If not, ask if that is +1. And this is a different check, because I'm now checking for a difference rather than whether it's the date today. Yeah, I'm getting that. So what I'm doing is we've got date between, so I'm looking at the original date. I'm using the now, so that's dynamic, and then looking at the days between. And because of the way the days between works in Notion, the now property has that timestamp. And because the prop date is just a date and the now has the timestamp, as soon as you start to go into that day, it will actually say 0 rather than 1, because you're in the day because of the time, not because of the date. So you got to put a +1 to say that it is. Otherwise, it goes backwards. So put +1. If it equals to +1, then it's tomorrow. Then it's basically the same thing, but for yesterday it's -1. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep. Good.
Yep.
I'm checking with you because obviously you're going through. So all of these are fairly simple, just if statements. They're if questions. This is a question. This is the first answer. This is the next question. This is the next answer. And you can see this is where, if I was to use the if bracket, my head would be twisted. I mean, I'd have an if here, then I'd have an if here, and I'd have another if up here, and yeah, and I'd have more brackets in there as well. But yeah, this is me looking at this anyway. Right. This next bit is another question, and as you can see all of the brackets there. It gets fun when you see like loads more brackets together.
And he takes an incredibly deep breath. So let me remind you how he was trying to get me to explain it. And as you can see from his face right now, you can see why. Because this is horrible to explain. And it's another reason why I went, no, because I can't.
Okay. The next question. So we're on question 4, I think, of this form. Well, question 4 of this part of this formula.
Line 2.
Sorry. Line 3.
Line 3. Well, end of line 2, beginning of line 3.
Yeah. And what this is doing is still doing a similar question to the 2 beforehand, but I'm looking to see if it's bigger than 0. So thinking about all those, actually, yeah, that's a really good point. So thinking about all those formulas that we could use in here, we could have an if at the front. Then inside the if, we could put an equals for this 2 equals. And then that could be one way of doing that. With the add, you could put add and then equals in there as well. So these are just different ways of writing the same thing. You can have an equals in there, and then you could put unary equal, or what is it? Oh, I can't remember. Is it minus whatever it is, the sub minus thing, into there for that one. And then we've got greater than, the symbol that you weren't sure on. We went through it. You're like, well, I can't remember which way around it is.
I don't remember which way around it is, no.
Yeah, so what this is asking, if the date between this in days is bigger than 0. I wish we could add invisible text inside formulas for notation, like I can with coding.
Yeah, this is what I do. If you scroll up again at the top, I actually put it into a text block and then use 2 forward slashes to create like comments in coding. That's what I do. That's how I break a formula like this down.
So what this looked like when I was making it was this.
Yeah, multiple sections. Section by section by section.
Yeah. Like
how many sections did you do for this?
To build this, probably 4. Because this would all be in one section. That would be marvelous. Yes, it would be. I recreated this formula a while ago, and this was a point where I was confronted with the confusing now behavior. Yeah. So this was one property. Then I had all of these questions as another property, and then I had another property to work these bits out, and then I just added them in. Sometimes I find it easier to recreate than searching when I need to add something. Yeah. Yep. Very true. So we're looking for whether the days are bigger than 0. And the reason we've got if it's bigger than 0 is because that means it's forwards, i.e. in front of, because with the now, because it's got the timestamp, if it's in front of, it works different to if it was behind today. So all of carry on scrolling. I want to say This bit?
To the plus, yeah.
Because the next bit is going to be the days, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, no, that's weeks. Yeah, no, that's weeks. Yeah.
Date between date now. Yeah, there's that.
7 days, yeah, weeks, then back to 7. Yes. Carry on.
Yeah, so that's in front. So this is all the stuff that's in front because it functions slightly differently. Deep breath. So we've got this first question that we've used already. We've got the date between. We've got the date between the date and then the now and then the in days. And what I'm doing is with this percentage, I'm modding it. So what I'm doing is I'm dividing it by 7 and I'm finding the remainder. So if it's 6, it will say 0. If it's if it's 6, it will say 6. 6 divided by 7 and remainder 6. So it'd be 0, 6. If it was 7, it would be 0. If it's 8, it would show 1 because it goes in once 1, but then there's 1 remainder. If it's 9, it would go in once, but you don't see the first number and then you see 2. If it's 10, 7 goes in 1, but it will show 3, etc., etc. So what this is basically doing, I've used 7 because that's how many days are in a week. So I've used 7 in there. So I'm working out how many days there are. So if it's 7, it's 0, which means it's 1 week, not 7 days. Does that make sense? Yes?
Yeah.
Good. And the +1 is in there because it's in front of, like we explained up here. Otherwise, it wouldn't actually show. It would be 1 day backwards, which is irritating. Now I've got that now, which is what I want to use, but I also need to ask this as a question for other things, because if that is greater or equal to 7, put a 0. And the reason I've put that is because basically for the first bit, if I didn't have the 0 in there, it's a bit hair flying, then I'd have because this is the days, isn't it? Yeah, this is the days bit. So if I didn't have this in there, then it would always show the days. And if there's 0 days, I don't want it to show. So I'm going to have a 0 in there as a 0 days to some weeks. Otherwise, it would just be empty. Yeah. Going through this in properties would probably make things easier, but then that would make things much longer to explain as well. What do you think?
Keep going.
Keep going? I'll keep going.
Unless you want to break it up. I mean, I'm not cruel to you and not trying to, call you out or anything like you did to me earlier. Good. But
we're good. We got the same question, exactly the same thing, and asking if it's equal to 0. So if it's equal to 0, then we know it's the weeks because it's basically Sunday. It means we've got 7 days. So 7 days is 0. That makes sense. So if it's 1 day in front, 2 day in front, 3 day in front, 4 day in front, all the way. If it's 7 days in front, I know it's 1 week. So if this question equals 0, I know it's 1 week, not 7 days, because I want to show 1 week, not 7 days. That's my preference. If you wanted it to be 7 days rather than 1 week, you could just change that round to 8 or something, or just get rid of this question. But I think everyone would want that. I don't know. I guess it's preference.
I don't know. Yeah.
So there's that question. So that is the second question inside this bit.
How are everyone coping so far?
Yeah, how are we all coping?
Do we have any viewers left?
Yeah, we've managed to keep everyone. Everyone's
wow.
Watching this somehow. Yeah, so now we've got another question that is similar, but this is looking for weeks rather than days. So we've got the days. We know how many days we've got. We've either got no days, we've got 1 through to 6 days, or it's 7, so it's going to be a week. And if it is the week, this is what we want it to show. So now this is the answer to the weeks. So we've got date between prop date and now in weeks, +1, because otherwise same thing because of the now, everything. Yeah. Respect on explaining it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So much easier going through this when you're actually building it. And I wasn't expecting this live stream to go through into this either.
You did start by saying you were going to do it.
Yeah, maybe.
You did say you'd do it.
I said I might, but yeah.
No. You literally went, can you stall for a minute while I go and get...
Okay, yeah. At the beginning of the stream, I didn't plan on going through it. Right. So yeah. So we got this, and then it's working out how many weeks we've got. If it doesn't equal 0, because essentially if this is 0, then it's definitely 1 week, because otherwise it would just be the days. So this is going to be 1 week, which is here, and then if it's not 1 week, then we know it's going to be more than 1 week. So we're looking for the date between there, now, and if that equals to 0, we're going to put nothing, because if this is true, so it's going to have a certain amount of days. So if it's if it's the first one, it's going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, but it's not going to have any weeks. So then it's going to show nothing in weeks. But if this is not true, then it's going to show 1 week, or it's going to show a certain amount of weeks, which is all of that there. So basically, what all of that says is, if there's 1 to 6 days, show 1 to 6. If there's 7 days, show a 0 in days and show 1 in week. If there is more than 7 days, show the 1, but also let there be however many weeks shown. Did that summarize that well?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That is for the positive side of the week, and then the negative side of the week is basically the same but the opposite. So we're still doing the same. We've got the date between now in days, then we're modding that +7, asking the question if it's bigger than or equal to 7. If it is, 0. If it's not, then do this question, which is the same question as we've got up there. Ooh, I didn't want to go there. It's the same question we've got up here. So it's the same list of questions. It's just asking for this next part. Where were we? We were on this line. Yeah, so going through there. We have the next question in here. Date between all of this. Date now, please. Weeks +1. Again, the same thing. And then if it's not, dates, blah, blah, blah. And then this is where you add on the W. So you've got the W on the end, so you know that it's weeks and not days. So you have the D and then the days. The D for days and W for the weeks. And I believe the D for days is at the end.
Yeah, 2 lines down.
Yeah, it's there. And the second part, which is most of this. Oh, go away, you silly thing. And then the second part, which is the majority of this, I think it's, all of that. All of that is basically the other bit, the other side. Actually, no, I think it's all of that is the other side. That was really hard to explain going through it when you don't know what the other bits are. Sorry, I count as 2 viewers, 1 on laptop for chat, 2 on big TV. Oh, fair enough. So if you want to rebuild this or build this in your space, I would suggest going through all the different sections to see why the sections are the way that they are. But yeah.
Well done.
So that is a fun formula, fun nested formulas of ifs.
Yeah.
Fun nested. Yeah. Do you have anything in your space that wasn't created by me that is big nested formulas? Because I know you've got this one, and I don't want you just to say, "Oh yeah, I got that one."
Let me go and have a look while you stall.
While I stall, I can stall for ages.
I know it.
So yeah, I'm just going to talk out of my rear. This is one of those formulas that I won't even try. It's one of those formulas that you really don't need, Roxana, because I think the formula that you have in your space is probably a similar thing to the top part of this, with the clock and the amount of tasks you've got left and stuff like that, because it's just summarizing all the information together. The reason this gets longer and longer is because of the irritating way the now function works inside of the date between question. Otherwise, it would just be date between and days. There you go. Date between and weeks. There you go. And that's it, done. But because of the time span, you need to add on all of this whole mod stuff to figure it all out. Actually, while you're still working stuff out, I may actually give this a go up here very quickly to show one of the examples of what I mean.
Okay.
So, have you found anything, by the way?
I'll look in that moment.
I am. Uh, 30. There you go. And this is what I mean. So it is the 29th today. So days between now and the 29th is 0 because it is today, which is true. But the days between today, which is the 29th, and tomorrow, which is the 30th, it's not 0. But Notion thinks it's 0, which is why you do the bit in the middle. And that is why with the bit going forwards, you put the +1. Do you like this? Do you like this bit?
Are you talking to me while I'm still looking at things?
Are you still looking? You looked at the camera. I thought you were done.
No, the camera is just in that direction.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah. So, and with this bit, it means you have to treat everything in front of now slightly differently to everything you treat behind now, unless you can reference the start of now, which Svanland, I think, is which is what we asked, which was here. So if we were to use this as the reference,
I don't have any big formulas apart from your one now.
Oh, that's disappointing. Yeah. So if we use that as a reference instead of now, it's now got it right. And that's actually a point because I made this formula a while ago. So I could actually make that smaller now, thinking about it, by using this.
Make what formula smaller? Sorry.
So this big one that I've got down here, I have accounted for the time in a different way. Because I'm using mods and I'm checking for whether it's bigger than or smaller than certain times. But instead of doing all of those questions, I could just change the reference date. I could change the reference date to this. Did that make sense to you?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so I could change the reference date rather than just using now. I can change the reference date to this, and then the formula may work both ways, but I don't know. I would have to test that out. Is there anything else you want to mention on the stream? I think this will work. So do I. Is there anything else you want
that? I'm getting a bit excited by that one. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, is there anything else you want to mention on stream? Because I'm quite happy to just troubleshoot this as we go.
Let's troubleshoot as we go. I'm still looking to see, because I used to have a formula database which stored all my own old formulas that I used to use. I don't know whether I've still got it, whether I deleted it. It's been doing big cleanouts at the moment.
And this is going to actually, this would be a perfect example to show you exactly how I build.
Hey, fun.
For those of you that don't know how I did that, because I know some people for whatever reason can't do this, but when you get rid of a formula and you exit the box, it just inputs the formula that was in there, and you're like, but I need it to be empty. When the formula box is empty, I was pushing Control Enter, but if you push Done, it will then empty and it will then put out an empty formula box rather than inputting whatever you just got rid of. That's just something that I learned. Learned how about right. So I'm going to troubleshoot this formula from the beginning. So we want the days. Woo. Okay, so what I'm looking to do is, let's just go straight from the start. So I want to look at how many days we've got left. Let's put, so we want that one is there. So that's going to be 7 days. That's now 8 days. We want 1 for today. So what I try and do is I try and give myself a page of each iteration of the type of result that I'm looking for. So I know this is going to be more than 1 week or more than a week behind. This is more than a week in front. Let's not put that there because then it's going to go further. Oops, wrong button. Let's go 7. So that's 8 in front, 8 behind, and now I think I'm going to want 1 in front and then 1 more behind.
Hey.
Yeah, so I'm going to drag that down. So what I've now got is all of the different iterations that I know could cause an issue with the formula. I love these fly-by nerdy troubleshoot or let's just try it sessions. Good. That's what I love doing as well. I mean, this is basically what I do in my spare time anyway. Okay, so for yeah, so like the reason I've done this is I've got all the iterations. So if there is an issue, I can see the issue here rather than making the formula going, yes, we're done, and then coming up with the issue later on.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got this one. So we've got the date between. So that is the date between number. I'm just going to relabel this number because I'm really lazy with my namings. So days left. So I want to look at the date between that, and I want to mod that by 7. If you have any questions as we go, by the way, John, let me know because
I will, believe me. I'm intrigued. This is really cool.
I'm going to mod that by 7. It's going to give me the remainder. Yes. So that's days. I'm going to try and speak as I go along, but I may get quiet because I start thinking. So that's how many days I've got left, and then that works for all of them.
That's the remainder of days, isn't it? Days remainder, yeah?
Yeah, so that's...
edit that so it's easier to understand. You can carry on, and I'll just make tweaks.
Right, so we've got... That's days for a remainder, and then we want... Yeah, because now I've got that as a -1, that's a 0, that's a 1. None of those other questions matter because that is the true answer. And then all I need is in weeks. No, I don't want that because if that was to be modded, then it wouldn't work. So I'd need days between there and then so date between now and the original date. So date between original date. Is it original date and now, or is it the other way around? I can never remember. I think I pushed control instead of space. Yeah, I did. That one's behind time. That was behind time. Yes, so that's right. So now we've got the weeks. So that's 1 week behind. That's 0 weeks behind. 0 weeks and 1 day. Yes, that's there. That's there. That's good. That's the number that
that's the want. Weeks remainder, yeah, or just weeks in itself.
That's just weeks, because I've modded this because essentially this is 1 week and 1 day.
I see. Okay.
But it's actually 8 days. So this is the overall. This is 8 days. But it's actually 1 week and 1 day.
Okay, I'm going to change that so that it's...
Yeah, that's what the mod does. You've got -1 week, -1 day. That's there. Yeah, I mean, that's already sped up so much of this that was going on.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Because it's got rid of a lot of the issues with all of that. So now what I want to do is... Yeah, so now what I want to do is go if... Oh, let's just copy this. Oh, go away.
Sorry, none of that. Oh, go away. Leave me alone.
Yeah, right. So if that equals 0, then I don't want it to show anything because it's 0 weeks. Actually, is that what I would want? Because if that equals 0, but if that equals 0, then I don't want it to show anything. But if it does, then I want it to show the actual number. This is where the formula kind of starts to get long because it's gone and done the What are you doing, Notion?
It's because you need to put the brackets. You've got to define the same thing. The thing that I screwed up with earlier, it's the same problem. You've got to add the brackets to separate the formula.
Pretty sure
it's the same kind. So you've also got to put it at the beginning of that one too. Don't know why, but you do. So that's showing weeks, yeah? So if weeks.
What, sorry?
What's that showing? Because I was jumping between the two.
It's not showing anything at the moment.
So basically what's that figuring out so I can add it to the title is what I was saying.
I don't know yet.
That's good. Thanks. Cheers for that. You're making it really easy for me to explain what's going on. Cheers. Thanks.
I don't know yet. So what I'm trying to do is ask a question with the week. There we go. So right now I'm troubleshooting why it wouldn't work inside the formula. It's because it had 2 brackets in. Right, so now I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to paste this into, so if it's there, paste, and then, oh,
And then the 2-number magic trick.
yeah, and that's why it didn't work first time. It wasn't the brackets, it was because I had this just there. I didn't have the 2-number in there, but that was me.
Okay.
Yeah, that was me mentally checking why it wouldn't work, which is why I brought it over here, because this is a number string and I had it as a text or a number. So now what we've got if the weeks is 0, put nothing. If it doesn't equal 0, then checking error yet. Then put the amount of weeks. Right, so you can see now that's empty. Nice. You realize I'm just going to change this property now. Okay, so we've got that one. So I'm going to drag that one over there. So we've got days remaining. That is the weeks in there. And we've got the weeks in here. Let me know if someone asks a question in chat as well, because I'm like,
I will, don't worry. I am keeping an eye on the chat.
So that's date between weeks. Date between due date now. Yeah, so that is the question that we want. I do repeat myself a lot when I'm making these formulas as well to make sure I understand what I'm doing. Total days. So I don't actually need the total days anymore because we've got the remainder.
So you can hide that for now.
No, I'm not going to hide it because I'm going to use it for something else.
Sweet.
Because if I was to hide it, then I have loads and loads of properties, and then it ends up just becoming a pain in the end. So what I actually need to do now is I want to go into here. So that's no weeks, and then I want to,
or number of weeks is what I've actually put.
Add that on the end.
And then, of course, you've got to add the format so that it turns it into a text string. Otherwise, you can't add the
W
at the end. And then you need a space because it's annoying otherwise.
Yeah.
So you have a -1 week here.
Yeah. So this is what I'm now going to try and get rid of because I don't want it to say nothing week because that's annoying. So instead of doing this, I'm going to have another solution. So I'm going to.
Well, you've got to add another if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. No.
That should have worked. So I've now formatted that, so that should be. Oh no, because
you have to format back there. Yeah.
Oh, why am I formatting a number? I'm just going to take that out. Idiot. All right, let's do that. But let's actually get rid of that original format up there because I don't need that anymore. Okay, so what I did is I had the W as an addition. So what John did earlier, I basically did the reverse, is I had the W as an added on irrespective of whether it was -1, 0, or nothing in our case. But what I've now done is I've added the W into the second answer to the question.
Yeah, so it'll only appear if it is more than 0, sorry.
Exactly that. So that's
how would you do the it would need to be. Now, I don't know, I'm guessing here, for it to be -1, because you don't want to see -1 weeks, do you?
Why not?
Well,
it's behind.
Oh, are you going to do something cool with that later or something? Because you don't have -1. Oh, no, you do have -1 weeks. No, you do. Carry on.
Yeah, because this is behind. So essentially, this is overdue.
Yeah.
I mean...
I normally, I don't... I think you actually, in the one you gave me, you actually put an X and then 1 week, something days.
Maybe. I've changed this numerous different times for different people, different use cases. Yeah, so, I mean, you could get rid of the -1 and just put an abs. Just put an abs for the number.
Yeah.
Where is it? Take between...
Absolutely.
and now it's always going to show you the positive. If you don't want a minus.
Yeah.
Does that work for you, John?
Well, I want to know I'm overdue, so I would have so what I would normally do, I assume, is I would have if it is equal to or more than 0, then I would have what it says. If it was before then, I would actually have it having an X and then have the absolute as well. So it would show the X and not the...
Yeah, and you'd put that question in here.
Yes.
So...
Just because I'm difficult.
Am I going to put... Oh, you know what? I'm not even going to bother.
I'm not worried. It's fine. It's okay.
But yeah, that's what you put. You just put a question mark and then just put whatever it is.
Yeah.
You're making me do this.
Is it bugging you that you haven't done it? I'm not making you do anything. I'm not literally grabbing hold of your hand and going, "You will type this."
I believe that should work. I knew that was going to happen as well.
Yeah,
because it's now added.
I knew that was going to happen.
I knew it was going to happen because I've added the question into the answer, and it's now looking for that rather than what it did. I'm not going to bother troubleshooting, and now it's just going to.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You carry on. It's complicated. People about poor Lizzie's. They're like, it's complicated, so not behind.
Okay.
This is like this does while you carry on troubleshooting if you want. I'm stalling for you. This is kind of the nature of things like this. You could have this, and if you want it, go create it. But the question you need to ask yourself is this valuable enough to spend and invest the time creating this, or is this something you're just like, I don't really need this. This is not really. I don't need to see this like this. It's not necessary for me to be able to, be productive. Would you not agree, Danny?
I completely agree. What did you say?
I knew you were going to say that. I had a horrible feeling you were going to say something like that. Basically, you don't need to have this. This is just a really niche, small thing for people like both of us who don't get dates and don't realize. For me, it's been really useful to go, oh, that's actually due in, not like when I look at a date that's like January 1st or something, I'm like, oh, I got plenty of time, and I don't start panicking until like 2 or 3 days before. Whereas with this formula, I'm able to go, oh, that is like 3 weeks away, that is 2 weeks away. It's much more easier and digestible to see what's going on as I'm looking at it. But if you don't need that, or if you don't find that useful, then making it is fantastic. And to be fully transparent, if it weren't for the fact that Danny has made it and let me have it, I wouldn't bother. Because there's just so much, as you can see, while Danny's trying to figure everything out, there's so many different sections you've got to figure out, so many things you've got to try and bug fix, and it just turns into procrastinating planning rather than actually getting stuff done. So it's kind of balancing what you can and what you should do when it comes to using formulas inside of here. Yeah, if it's possible, try it out, give it a go. And I think it's pretty cool to have this ability to have something as cool as this in there. But if you don't need it, don't have it.
Completely agreed.
It's great when you're nerdy and you're kind of diving into that. But if most of the people who are watching us still are nerdy as heck and love just nerding out about this stuff. But
I have no idea why they're still here.
If they're not, then yeah, I gotta agree with that. I don't know why they're here. Yeah, I agree. But if you're kind of just perusing this because you want to learn formulas, this is such a high level formula. Like, this is something, he won't say this because he's so like, not whatever's the word I'm looking for. But this is such a.
I don't know where you're going, John.
No, I don't know either. This is a whole next level type of formula that is not something most people would use. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to give you some. I'm just trying to fill the space where you just try and process all of this.
Oh no, I've processed it. So what I've done while John was talking, quite lovely, is I've now done the same thing for the days as I've done with the weeks, but it's slightly longer because of the way you need to mod the days to get it accurate. So here we've got that. It's 2 lines. In the other one, it's like 5.
That is really exciting, and I cannot wait to jump in there before you delete it and like use that instead, because then I can start adding more of my other things in there, because that is sexy. That is pure and simple, nerdy, sexy stuff. Like you combine them together, that's insane. That's like what, a quarter of the. Oh, that's insane, isn't it?
But the thing is, I'm trying to work out whether I've missed something. I don't think I have. I think that's literally it. So I'm now going to come into here
and combine the two.
I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste that in there. And I'm going to move that out of the way.
This is exciting. Like, he's not listening to me at the same time as Fanland. He's definitely not listening to a word I'm saying, and I cannot blame him.
I can hear you giggling, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, precisely. See what I mean? You beautifully proved my point. Thank you very much.
Right, so we've got the plus, What
we're gonna do is just add a space. Wow, look at that. That is exciting. Give me that fucking formula, boy.
Minus 3 weeks. Plus 2 weeks and 4 days. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But I do have something else to add.
Oh.
Because in the formula that we've got today, tomorrow, and yesterday.
No shit.
We've got those 3. Yeah. But this is the longest part. I mean, oh, it's gone and hidden itself. Thank you, Notion. Oh my God, hidden itself again. Let's take it to the top and then put it down. There we go.
To the top. That is, I bet that's probably really nice, isn't it? Really. Look at it.
So, yeah. So it's there. Yeah. So this is what we're about to make. But these 3 lines represent these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and a bit lines.
That is beautiful.
That's so much shorter. I could probably just copy that. Oh no, I won't be able to copy that and paste it in, will I? Because it's different properties.
Mm-hmm. And also, when you don't need to worry about the timestamp anymore because you've fixed that with the new thing.
So now, if you're the king,
yeah, no, you genuinely are. Like, my brain is excited, but it's like I would never do this myself.
Right. So what I want to do now is look for today. So if the due date equals today, is there a way to do this without? I think the easiest way is just going to be the format date. Format date, that day, month, and year. The reason I include the year is because otherwise, keep going. No. Format date of now, day, month, year, because it's the same. Are they? Oh, I put it in the wrong place, haven't I? Twat.
Yeah. You can tell he's now doing formulas because he just swore for the first time in the stream.
Yep. That's true. Put today. If not, no. Keep up Notion.
And now he's yelling at Notion.
Now, this is something that I've learned as well, making long formulas. If you put emojis in this, if I was to put the emoji in this formula now, then copy that and paste it in somewhere else, if I then try and move with the arrow key inside the formula box, it will insert a ghost block because it's only copied half of the emoji, but you'll see all of it. So just do it afterwards.
Thank you for that.
Yep. Right. What am I doing? Oh, go away. I'm trying to click faster than Notion's moving. My head is like 4 steps ahead.
Your head is like 4 steps ahead.
Yep. Actually, this is going to be interesting. How am I going to check for tomorrow? See if I can make this one shorter as well.
He's just excited now.
Yeah. Okay. So, because I can use the same. Yeah, because I can look at the date between.
Yeah, you would do the same thing. It's what you had before.
Copy that in there, and then come
have an extra bracket in there. I don't know whether you meant for that.
You only go days. So days between due date now in days. Oh no, not that one. I've copied the weeks one, not the days one. I've got rid of the days one, haven't I? Yeah, I have. Of course I have.
You got it below.
It'll be in here.
And below.
What do you mean below? Oh, down there. I ain't scrolling all the way down to get that. No. That's way too long.
I'm doing formulas.
Is this going to be longer? This may be longer. Yeah, this is going to be longer. Date between that and... Yeah, no, that's longer. I don't like that. Yeah, date between date now, days plus 1 equals 1 is tomorrow. Yeah. That's because it's front. Date between due date now.
Is he gonna get it? Is he gonna get it within the 2 hours? Do you think? You fucking heard that one.
Yeah, I heard that one. I looked straight down at the clock. I was like, "You what?" If it's plus 1, because the stupid. This is what I mean. Like the stupid numbers. Look, 1 1. No, it's not 1 1. This is 0. This is -1. Stupid thing. So if that equals 1, so that is tomorrow. Yeah, that's fine. So if that's true, so I need to make sure that that one. That's tomorrow. No, but I need to make sure that this one is before that one. Yes. Okay, so now I'm going to come into here. I'm going to copy that, come in there, go into here, and I'm going to paste it in there. Thank you. See that ghost friggin' thing in there? Stupid. Stupid piece of crap. What are you doing that?
It's just like it's just look at it, piece of crap.
Oh yeah.
You know, world hunger, global pandemic. No, Danny gets angry about a ghost character.
Yeah, right. It's
formula.
Right, so if that equals minus, not 0, minus 1, type the fucking right keys.
Now he's showing us his keys.
Yeah. Shut up, Tom. I'm concentrating. Okay. Right, so question yesterday. I'm looking at that clock.
Have I freaked you out now?
Yeah, you've given me a challenge, and my competitive nature is just.
Ding 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 ding.
Countdown.
It's all right, Con. It's all right, Con.
Right, I know. Copy that.
You nearly got it, to be fair.
Oh, sod off!
I'm very sorry.
See the
Trying to be supportive.
I want to
Trying to be supportive, and you tell me sod off.
No, I just got to make sure the brackets are in the right place. Of course.
That's why I had the parentheses in the other formulas, like in the other.
I was right.
And here comes the truth of formula creators. Literally, what do you mean there's not enough? Adds another one. What do you mean it's not enough? Adds another one. What do you mean that's not enough? Adds another one. There we go.
Done it. Wow.
Done it. Nice.
Yeah. No, because the formula was too big, I couldn't see how many brackets I needed. So I was like, how many do I need? Tell me.
Another one. Another one. And another one.
Because I've got a bit of time to spare.
Gonna add the emojis.
Exactly. I'm going to add that in now.
This is brilliant.
Damn, that's shorter.
That is alarmingly shorter.
Oh, what have you done down here?
I've put it on the other side.
Is this the whole of the other formula?
Mm. You've got 8 minutes left. Can you shorten the other formula now?
Or this?
Shorten the shorten.
That's a progress bar. You can shorten that however you want. I could just go. I could just have a completed percent property and just say, show the number. No, so you've done that. You've done that wrong, you pillock.
Have I? Well done. Nicely saved. Oh, did I forget to paste the other part in as well?
Yeah, because it's all of this.
Oh, right.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Is it really that long? Yeah. Actually, let's just. The comparison.
That's quite considerable.
I mean, the date needed bit on here. That's not in there, but it's just a line.
Well, you could just add that in. That wouldn't take much time. Not that I'm applying any more pressure on you.
Yeah. Well, I've already hit the time, so I'm good. I'm gonna do it this way because I can.
Yeah, I would do that way as well. There it is. There it is.
Sorted.
Yeah.
He did it in time with the icons.
Very good. That's yeah.
What was that? 25 minutes, half an hour?
Whatever it was very well deserved. So well done.
We probably lost all of the viewers and
actually people have stayed and have been enjoying every minute of it.
The 2 to 3 people that were just nerding out about this. So Look at that.
That is beautiful. You know I've taken it right now, don't you? It's in my clipboard and it's staying in my clipboard. I'm just saying. I'm not gonna BS you right now. It's in my clipboard. I'm just gonna go into my system formulas thing so I know it's there so I can come and take it later on.
Yeah,
You'll be credited. You'll be credited.
Oh, thanks.
I always credit you. Thank you.
Yeah. I spent so long trying to work out the other formula as well. Trying to troubleshoot all the issues, and now it's just like, oh, look, there we go.
Now you got to do is just do days, weeks, and months now.
We've got days and weeks in there.
Now you got to do months now.
Save that for next week.
Hey!
I mean, I could try and troubleshoot it next week if people want to know. Totally lost, but love it.
On the edge of Lizzie, on the edge of my chair. Yes.
I could start bringing them up now.
Do you know what you should do? If you want, this is completely optional. We can share this screen and give them like a couple of hours to access it, and then we'll remove it.
Yeah, because now we've got the pagey stuff, don't we? The sharing of subpages. Yeah. I mean,
or maybe we should. Oh no, that would. Yeah, no. Yeah, there you go. It's what it says there. You just copy and have that in your head, and we can leave it there for 5 seconds. We just need like music in the background. I love how I have a piano directly behind me, and I'm deciding to go do instead of actually.
I was thinking that. I was like, just get on the piano. You realise, John, we started off explaining what an if function is, and we finished with this.
Yeah, I know. This is the Notion Nerds channel. If they're not expecting Notion nerdery.
Yeah.
And so everybody who's in the comments going, I can't find the formula. Can I have a copy of the formula, please? Your reply now, Danny.
It's been on screen for long enough.
There you go. So please, in our comments, do not ask, can I have the formula? Shouldn't have said that. All the people on live now are going to just go underneath and go, can I have the formula?
Where's the template?
Where's the... In my shopping cart, go buy it.
Just don't edit. We won't be editing anything out of these podcasts.
No, these live streams do not get edited.
Nope. They just finish and then timestamps go on them.
Yeah. Yeah. You missed out, Homesick Mac. You basically missed. Show
the comparison.
Show the comparison because it's so funny.
There you go.
It's just brilliant. It's just like, yeah. I'm sorry, Homesick Mac. You did miss quite a lot. We have turned this incredibly long formula into an incredibly short formula, and he did it within time. Look at that.
Yes. So next week, John, you are going to work out the months part of this formula.
No, I'm not, because next week I think we have.
Oh, yeah, we've got Lizzie on next week.
Lizzie on next week to talk about, ClickUp.
Yeah.
Where all of this is already added.
Sorry?
Isn't all of this already in ClickUp? With the weeks and the days.
No, it's not.
There we are. This is why it's better.
In ClickUp, you don't get a countdown of stuff. You can show the date, but I could not find a way to put a countdown in there. I'm pretty sure it's a requested feature as well.
Well, you just copy and paste this really long formula, and there you go. I consider it homework.
I'm kind of annoyed. At myself that I've managed to reduce it that much, because this formula was
quite considerable, actually. Yeah.
Because this formula was longer than this to start with because of some of the other stuff that was going on because of the now. And I made this smaller. You can see we've got the abs in there. I gave that example.
We don't need the abs.
It gets rid of the negative.
Oh, yeah, no, I know you could do that, but there's honestly, quite frankly, there's no need to worry about that.
No, exactly.
This is awesome. This is I enjoyed this stream.
Do you want me to do more formula builds then?
People, do we want more formula builds? Because this is kind of fun, entertaining.
I love making formulas, and you can make formulas about anything. Just give us a load of conditions and ideas, and maybe put a situation that you've got, and then we'll just build it out and troubleshoot it.
And when we say we mean Danny.
Well, you can troubleshoot it as well. I mean, I can't imagine you not being able to do the formulas.
Yeah, I probably could troubleshoot with you, to be fair. Yeah, that's true.
Yes, especially between databases. Oh, yeah. Cool.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah, especially between databases. So the progress bar stream that I did yesterday, I can't remember who it was, but someone brought up having progress from 2 different roll-ups and then putting that as a percentage into a progress bar. We could definitely do that. That wouldn't take long. That would be like a 15, 20-minute thing. I mean, it could take longer to explain how everything works and how you can weight different progresses. But yeah, I mean, I love formulas. Formulas are great fun. Great fun to mess around with. But yeah, so let us know. What's next? What's next week?
Don't say that. Don't say that he will go away and try.
I don't think that's even possible.
Honestly, I don't. Looking at it as well. No, that is as short as it's going to get.
With the original formula, I knew I could make it shorter because there was a lot of ifs in there. With that one, I thought, well, I can't really do much else because there's no other way to deal with the now situation. But because of the solution that I've made with the now situation, that makes, as you can see, half the formula redundant. It was awesome. It would be great to have more. Cool.
We'll do more then.
Definitely not a beginner's live stream.
No.
I mean, we could start off fairly beginner and simple, but yeah. Right, I'll bring us up to close it out. I'm going to put that in my space. I need to put that in my space. It's so annoying.
I'm going to be immediately doing that myself because that is awesome. And it means I can start adding some of the other things in, so I can actually have a longer formula as well because I don't have the
You can see what's going on.
Yeah. That's the thing. I didn't bother adding any more because I was just like, scroll effort. Sweet. Well, thank you for joining us for this really interesting episode of the Notion Nerds live stream.
You were going to say podcast.
Not going to say podcast. Nah, what are you talking about? And we'll see you next week when we have a ClickUp guest.
Yeah, Layla, consultant. If you have any questions, let us know.
Yeah, please. Yes, make sure. We want lots of questions.
I had lots of questions myself because for those of you that have seen my video, there are lots of things in ClickUp that I like, but there are also lots of things in ClickUp that are mildly irritating. So we'll see. And
I haven't explored ClickUp as deep as you. I just don't have time. I don't prioritize the time.
I spent a whole week that.
I know.
I'm still looking at little bits here and there as well. So
cool. Yeah. I am, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.